just a few quick heads up. So if you guys have your phones on, then go ahead and silence those. And give respect to everybody that comes up on this stage. You're a performer. Give them more respect than you would give me, because I can't see you. So, one other thing that I can't emphasize enough, we're here to make people laugh. We're here to have a good time. So encourage them. That being said, guys, for those of you who are going to come up onto this stage, we want you to enjoy it, but please, and I can't emphasize this enough, please stay away from shock humor. Alkali and myself do not use it. It doesn't work. It's not for this stage. That being said, we're going to give you about 5 minutes to do your set, depending on how many people we have raise their hands. We'll try and get around to as many people as we can. And what's going to happen, we'll call your name, we'll introduce you, you'll come up, and when you get about 30 seconds left in your set, we'll stand up. If you're in suit, then we'll just come up beside you so that way you know to kind of wrap it up. And that being said, guys, this panel is for fun. We look for amazing talent in this panel. This is how people get their first chance to see how much fun this is and to try it. So that being said, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Open Mic!
Alright, so traditionally, the ones that I host, I send up my dear mate, Philemon, to open us up for Open Mic. So, are you ready? Let's do it.
Alright. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, sleepers, I know. We've got moms and some water. And that's kind of how I'm going to start tonight. I have a tendency to pick on species. For those of you who've seen me do this before, it's about my 4th year of doing this. So, let's see. Who do I want to pick on first? Oh, we could go with... I see a couple of canines. Bark.
Wow.
Bark. So, the greatest thing you can do to a canine, I found the ways to take care of some suitors who have a little bit of ego. You walk up to them and go, hey, 9? Nah. Hey, 5.5. I've seen those pictures on my head. And, of course, the perennial pick-on species. Yes, I've added more fox jokes. I have to give credit to one of my friends at home. He actually trumped me on the fox jokes. He runs a D&D campaign. Every time somebody finds a bag of holding, it's either made of fox fur or otter skin. And there's one that I've done for years now. You know why all the military furs are really in the ballparks, right? Think about when they're taught in basic training. In case of emergency, find the nearest foxhole. Now, I've been in the family for a long time now. If I had been born at my first fur con, I'd be looking to train. I started at the first AnthrOhio before Kage got his paws on me. So I've watched things come and go. We watched fur species change. We finally figured out the most recently popular fur species. I know now what a servo is. A servo is the furry species equivalent of gas station sushi. It looks really good now. You will regret it later. It's late before. Now, let's see. Doggos. I see some doggos. So, at least he left to pee. Doggos just mark the territory in the corners.
Stop that, guys.
I've always kind of wondered, you've heard a lot of crossover recently, people complaining about the fandom getting too adult. So, if you get a doggo who's the whole S&M thing, if you use a spray bottle, is that a good thing or a bad thing? That being said, one of the other things I do is I teach Boffer combat for 2 different groups down in Tampa, Florida. I found the greatest thing for a lot of the furry crossovers to do that. A lot of them tend to be dogs or wolves. I found the greatest thing online. I found newsprint material to cover the foam swords in, so I can actually walk around whacking people with a newspaper. Now, I'll probably do a piece at the end with some of my more adult stuff, but for now, I think it's about time to turn it over and get a few more people going.
Sounds good. Okay, who is interested in coming up? Please raise your hand. All quarters.
Or pause.
Or pause. You can raise whatever you like as long as it's easy and appropriate. Right up here, front row, front please. Yes.
Hi everyone, my name is Jordan, RPCCP, Captain Class Hub, and they let me host a panel, so come see me tomorrow. Alright, that's typically, a long time ago I used to work veterinary, and I just remember going into a room to talk to a client, and he didn't have an arm, and I said, hi, my name is... Yeah. I'm not going to that. The other time I was going over euthanasia, and you know, that's usually kind of a nice, kind of sad time. And right when I was walking out the door, I said, I'm really sorry for your loss. And then I farted. And the fart was a sad fart too. It was, ah. And I was like, yeah. And you could just hear them when I shut the door, did she just fart? Yeah. And then they wanted me to go back in the room, and I'm like, oh, no, that's not happening. Sorry, kids, no. So now I'm also kind of on like this bird kick. I really want a bird. Because birds are also cute. I know, it's kind of crazy. And I want a bird, and I want a female bird so I can name it something terrifying. Something that can destruct fear and hearts. Like Debbie. Behold, Debbie, the destructor of worlds. Or Linda. Darn you, Linda! Always going with 12 items in the 10-item less line. She must use all her coupons. Or Karen. Curses, Karen! Why do you need to speak to the manager every freaking time Thursday? Because, one, yeah, those will be enough to strike fear into anybody's hearts. So, that's kind of what I'm going to do for now. I'll hand it over to somebody else. And come see me tomorrow.
All right.
I'm going to be nuts.
Okay, next. So your hand go first and you can go. Woo! Yeah, buddy! Woo! Woo!
Alright everybody, I'm Chris the Comedy Bunny, and I'm going to do a small set for you. Are you guys excited? Okay, first off, I just love that you can walk in front of a crowd and pretty much say anything, and as long as you get them to cheer, it's just the best feeling ever. You're just like, dude, Doritos? Doritos! Woo! It's just so good. Cool ranch. I like ranch. It's alright. It's not that cool. It's pretty cool. So the first story I wanted to share with you guys was, I wasn't the brightest of kids. Like, when I was a kid, I was in my own little world, and I had a big imagination, as I imagine all of you did. And, well, now that I'm a man-child, it's the same way. But when I was a kid, I was about 4 or 5. I had just, like, really gotten the handle on peeing, standing up, and I'm like, yeah, I got this. I'm so good at this. So this is one of my first big triumphant moments. I go into the bathroom, whip out my child dick, and I just start, peeing. And I'm like, dude, I'm just like my dad, my big brother, this is great. And then I start, and I'm like, oh! and pee flies everywhere. Freaks me right out. It hits the towel rack, it hits the door, and then I hear, "You get out damn door!" I'm like, I'm going to the bathroom. This is a triumphant moment for me. And I look at the door, and the door is a different color because I peed on it. And I'm like, whoa, the door's a different color because I peed on it. Not because it's wet, but because I peed on it. And I thought, I've played mini games before. I can do this. So I just started peeing on the door. And I have a child bladder because I'm young. Even now. I have a child bladder, so I don't get much. But then I'm like, next time. So, keep going. Next time I peeing, oh yeah, I start peeing on the door, and I get a little bit more. And then, next time, peeing, oh shit, woohoo! And I get really good at peeing on the door. Like, I get great at it. My piss to door ratio is fucking on point. And so, I wind up mastering this, and I can pee on the door completely. I can coat the whole door in one bladder trip. And I realize I'm like 10 now, and I've been peeing on the door for 6 years, and no one has stopped me. And I'm like, why didn't no one tell me? I think Mom should have probably said something. That door probably smells bad, right? So I just kind of quietly stopped peeing on the door. But like, I'm the master at it. I want everyone to know that if you need a door pissed on, I will do it. I have master control of my bladder. So, that's not the only time though. When I was a kid, I was playing, not the only time I peed on a door. When I was a kid, I played soccer, like I imagine many of you did. Because it's like, I guess the cheapest sport or the easiest sport to shove your kid in and say, oh yeah, you're gonna learn a sport, I don't really care. And so, you get shoved in, and I'm in the team, and we'd huddle up, and he's like, alright guys, we're gonna learn how to play soccer, you're gonna kick the ball, it's gonna be real cool, sports, and I'm like, I don't care. I don't know. And he's like, alright, does everyone know the plan? I'm like, yeah, I got this. And so, we'd break, we'd go out, and people would go to their spot, and I go, I got a plan. So I walk over to the other enemies, and I walk over to the other side of the team, next to the goalie of the other team, and I go, hey man, how's it going? You know, I'm not actually on their team. I'm on your team. No, I swear I am. Like it's really, he's just ignoring me like, and I'm like, no, I really am. Like, I'm on your team, you know? I'm just a double agent. No, seriously. It's not a big deal. You can trust me. If the ball comes this way, don't worry about it. I got it. I got your back. I got your back. And then the ball rolls around, and because the child's like 4 and has no hand-eye coordination, he misses the goal, it goes in. I'm like, that was me. I was distracting him. That's my goal. And I did this every game, and no one stopped me. I don't understand why adults are just like, that kid's weird. Like, beyond like, we should talk to him, he's weird. Like, he's weird, just ignore him. Like, just ignore him, it's cool. Don't worry about it. So, I spent my entire brief sport ball career playing 00 soccer and just like kicking ass as a double agent. And in my mind, I'm like, I'm so good at this. I got like 3 goals. I got like 4 goals. And I got a participation trophy. And I held on to that participation trophy till I was 10. And then I was like, oh, I wasn't doing anything. That's not how you play sport ball at all. Cool. So about 10 was when I realized I'm not good at anything. I'm just a weird kid that pees on doors. Thank you.
No peeing on doors or you're in trouble.
Really good at it.
Yes. Blue in the back. I saw your hand first. Yes.
first one was in Eastgate. There's an anime convention. I'm like, okay, so I can go first thing at this con. No big deal. It turns out I was the only fursuiter there. I felt like I was from another planet. People wearing their anime costumes and whatnot, I'm just standing going, I would go up to like, I forget what they're called, but Nikos or something like that. Is that right? So I go, are you guys like, I haven't close me. Why am I here anyway? But yeah, like I said, this isn't really my first rodeo, but my first fur con, which I'm really happy about. I spent my $40. Let's do your shit. Not that many fursuiters that I thought. Try to get as many pictures as I can. If I keep it up, my phone will explode. It's like, what happened to your phone? Too many pictures. And the last guy who was up here, when you talk about sports, I got a few sports stories for you too. I played soccer as well. Wasn't exactly the best of it. I mostly just stood around. I was that one kid that just stood around there kicking daisies all day long. I was an anthill. I also did baseball and I did football my high school year. Now, my dad was our head coach. Does that sound right to you? No? Yeah, you're right. It was not right at all. He thought it would be a good idea to make me a goalie on my birthday. Now, the opposite team, what are they feeding these kids? These kids have the kicking power of I don't even know, just boom! I was sitting there just like, I got this. All of a sudden, they did that little perimeter thing, trying to prevent the goalie, person getting to the goal. That ball flew right at my forehead. It went boom! I flopped on the ground like a sack of potatoes. I'm just sitting there, the ball never went in the goal. Not once. Now that's called using your head, all right. Oh, I use more than my head. I use everything that was in my head. It just went, are you? The only thing they can't say is, alright? My response in my head is, does it look like I'm okay? I just got hit in the face by a soccer ball. So yeah, we pretty much won that day because of my forehead. Football. Who here watches football? By a show of applause, who watches football? Yeah.
Did I make a basket yet?
Alright. So, I played wide receiver on my team. Turns out I'm not the strongest, nor the fastest, but most likely I'm the one person that gets tossed around in that mess. See how serious this is? You can just throw me across the yard. Just yeet. One time, I swear, it's like every time I get a birthday around sports, I always get the worst of it. Worst birthday ever. So we were playing against one team, and they said, you're going to get the ball. I'm like, yes! Opportunity awaits. So I'm sitting there. I'm the one guy that stands behind the quarterback. He tosses me the ball, I have to go through. I say again, through that mess. All of a sudden, I'm trying to push through, and at the corner of my eye, I can see a guy, I swear. He's like one of those cartoon characters that are massively built and shit. All of a sudden, I swear, I thought I froze time for a second. It was at this moment that I knew. I fucked up. Knocked the wind out of me. I'm sitting there going, all I hear is, yeah, you can do it. I'm like, that was like a time for enthusiasm. It turns out I made first down. Yay me, guys. Thank you, guys.
You never did give us your name. Okay, guys, let's give up for Blood Moon. Walking through but not only did some of us ride the short bus, some of us chased it barking at it.
Okay, next, let's do it for this side of the room. Second row back, I see there's another third row, one person.
Which one? Next to Peter.
Which one?
Person stand. Come on, all right.
Clarify.
Standing, sitting.
All right, yeah. On the topic brought up by the rabbit, just in case we haven't got any, just in case people don't cheer for me. There we go. Now that's over with. While I was at Indy FurCon, I started a dramatic reading. I didn't finish it because I was really just doing it to annoy Kage. However, people laughed at it, so all you need to know about this story is a man ordered lobster humidor and got it, and it resulted in the public execution of an ichthyologist. Moving along. Later that evening, a mansion in a tract development. The diner is placing his wet clothes in the dryer. The maid has gone home for the night, and he is puzzling over the lint trap. He elects not to clean it, and instead chooses to leave the filter out entirely. He turns the dryer on after 6 tries, and is confused by a thunk sound coming from the hot air exhaust. He hears a loud crash outside. He rushes out to see what happened. His neighbor has been knocked off of his bicycle by a slightly warm but very wet shirt. An argument breaks out, the man saying there's no proof that the flying shirt belonged to him. The neighbor asks who else has a Q in their initials and shows the man the monogram on the lapel of his shirt. A scuffle ensues and the police are called. The man is arrested when a red-hot belt buckle is launched from the heat exhaust and brands the police officer with the Abercrombie and Fitch logo. It's the next evening, and the manager of the restaurant is happy to read in the police blotter that the diner from the evening before is in the clink. He hopes it will be a quiet night. He is disappointed. The diner is out on bail. Warily, he approaches the diner's table. I'll have the beef Albuquerque, please, the man tells him. The manager is even more wary now, and informs the chef. The chef is running this time, and after consulting the map, he takes all the southwestern spices out of the pantry and dry rubs them on a steak before searing it. Well, show that moon calf, the chef chortles. The dish is served. The man takes a bite. Steam leaks from his ears, and he caroms around the room with it before landing in an ornamental cuspidor with the sound not unlike an expectorating titan. Outside on the street, an elderly couple is passing by a tree. The wife points up and asks her husband why the monkey is smoking a pipe. Who would give a pipe to a monkey, she wonders. Her husband's nostrils dilate. I don't know, he says, but I don't think that's tobacco. They hurry off. At the base of the tree, a drug dealer is attempting to explain to his buyer why he can't sell him any hashish. What do you want me to do? The dealer asks sarcastically. Call the cops and tell them a monkey stole my hash. A scuffle ensues and the police are called. But only one arrest is made. The monkey is charged with possession of a controlled substance and is sentenced to 5 years at the circus. The monkey requests to approach the bench. And after a clandestine handover, is given a suspended sentence. Evening, the next day, the manager isn't surprised to see the diner. I'll have the chicken tiki marseillaise, the diner says. The chef doesn't miss a beat, and he has served a chicken breast with pineapple and 3 flavors of ice cream. The diner is pleased. Doubts creep into his mind that night, and after consulting an encyclopedia, he realizes it's Neapolitan, not Napoleon. He hurls the heavy tome across the room and goes to the bakery to order some balaclava. On his way, he meets a fast-talking parrot who calms him out of his wallet. He picks up the phone to make a report, but is racked by doubts. Was it a parrot or a toucan? It had a cigarette, so maybe it was a puffin. He realizes he's an unreliable witness and goes to bed with a cold compress. He wakes up to find it lukewarm and sends a stern letter to the editor.
Okay, let's go back to this other side of the room. I see first reader over on the aisle raising your hand. Want to come up? Hello, AnthrOhio. Oh shit, you're actually here. Okay now. Some of us. Yeah. So, several years ago, back when I lived with parents, back in high school, we lived on a cul-de-sac, so, not much going on. So we would go into the woods all the time. And us being teenagers, always trying to find something stupid to do, like play airsoft. You know what airsoft is? Yeah. It's kind of like paintball, one of those plastic cups, Hey! What? Really? No. But then, one time, we found a vine hanging off one of the trees. Let's swing on it. What could possibly go wrong? Let's do it. So there's like a flat part here, then a hill, and the vine's here. So we're gonna take a turn, swing on, swing on, swing on. Having fun. Do y'all remember the movie George of the Jungle? Yeah. Okay. So if you don't remember it, there's a scene where he grabs the vine to swing and twists it. Somehow, through the physics of Disney, he went faster. So of course I did that. I got it, twisted the vine, went, okay, here we go. I run, I leap. I fall. Now I did parkour in high school, so I did obviously tuck and roll, which isn't bad, except you're on a hill. So I hit the hill, and I keep rolling. All the way down to the bottom. Bottom finally hit. Now I'm just laying there like Loki out of the door smashing around the Avengers. Systems check. Okay. Okay, I got to move my fingers. Okay, that's good. Move my neck. That's good. Alright, sit up. I sit up, turn around. Here come all my buddies, Are you okay? Trying not to fall themselves. I sit up, go, yeah, I think I'm okay. One of my buddies, Alex, gets up and goes, you know how high you were? No, but I really don't care. Because you know how low we are right now? We're at the bottom of the fucking hill. So yeah, not my best moment. So yeah, so if you ever find a vine and you decide to be dumb enough to swing on it, don't twist it. You might end up at the bottom of the hill. Thank you. Very nice, very nice. Bring your feet for a pack. Okay, next up. Okay, that's good for me. Purple water.
Yeah!
So I was watching the very first little bit of this and I was like, oh no, that microphone's not working. I'm in a fursuit. This is going to be So I'm really glad that I don't have to do that because usually I deliver at about this volume. So I did grow up in a place called Stewart, Illinois. If you've not heard of it, even if we're in Ohio, you wouldn't have heard of it if you're in Illinois. Population 300. So, if you're on the highway and you're passing by Stewart, Illinois, there is a sign there that says, Stewart, 1 mile. And then promptly below it, no services. Just so that you don't accidentally visit our town. There's nothing there for you. There was nothing there for me when I lived there. Except for this story. So, down the street from my house, there was a man who was mostly a recluse, minus his little Pomeranian that has training wheels. just to set the scene. That has nothing to do with the story, but I think it helps to describe this man. He is very overweight. He is at least 65 years old. He never talks to anyone, but he did talk to our neighbors on this one day. A small other bit of background. I set up our wireless internet at my house when I was 12 years old because my parents didn't know how to do it. Now, a 12-year-old sees the inconvenience of a password entry as something that we can bypass. So I was like, why do we need a password? I have control of this, no password. Well, it turns out that our neighbor came over to us one day and he goes, hey, you know Pete down the way there? Is that the guy with the training wheels dog? Yeah, him. He just came over and he told us to tell you to boost your Wi-Fi connection if you could, because he's been getting some great porn. There's a lot to digest there. So first things first, why would you openly admit you are stealing our internet to our neighbor, who we like? It's not like you're conspiring against us like the else is. No, that's not what's happening. Also, why would you admit that the reason you are stealing our internet is to get your gay porn? I can't even walk myself through the logic. So, we bought a Wi-Fi booster. I mean, who am I to judge? That's what I would be using it for. Anyway, moving on. I found myself on the Wikipedia page titled List of Sports. It doesn't matter why. And I was going through the categories like basketball is a ball and hoop sport, and then football is this kind of sport. But at the bottom, there's a section labeled miscellaneous sports. And you know how Wikipedia is. It's very extensive. So what could be miscellaneous on Wikipedia? Well, let me tell you what's a miscellaneous sport. In Scotland, they play the noble sport of haggis hurling. A sport in which you hurl haggis as far as you can, with the stipulation that it is edible once you land it. Apparently it matters. It wasn't before me. The next on the list, extreme ironing. This is when you set up an ironing board on the top of a mountain. The description says, it combines the thrill of outdoor sport with the satisfaction of a smoothly pressed shirt. But then, I got you, man. Thank you. But then, there was also ferret legging. I don't know what that is. There wasn't a description. I'm going to have to ask AnthrOhio. I feel like his people will probably be able to explain what's going on there. But then there was chess boxing. Originally invented as a modern art form, you alternate playing rounds of chess and rounds of boxing. It is popular in Germany and Russia, the two most likely places to have a sport called chess boxing. So, I noticed that I was running out of time over there, so that's all I can give you today. I have to leave you with, I'm sorry, the same closer I used at First Squared. But do not forget to follow the E621 rule while you are here, if this is your first time. Eat 6 meals a day. They're remembering it because I just fucked it up. Alright, let's make up some shit. Eat 6 meals a day, blow 2 dudes a day, and you only have to sleep once. There we go. Also, please pick up Chris's business cards. I've seen them on the bottom.
That was Cornell! Be honest, give it up for him! You fucking killed it!
Thank you, Otter. That was great. Okay, hang on. All right, I'm alive. First hand I saw, kind of close to now, about 4 rows back. There you go, cool.
As I said when I was trying to undo my first bra, I don't know if this is supposed to come out. My name is Bernard. I run a panel called Bad Fan Fiction Theater at AnthrOhio. And for this convention, I was thinking of bringing a sample of my own writing, but then I thought, you know, I haven't done actual stand-up since high school. So I should come up with a story to tell you guys. And luckily, I have. Maybe lucky, maybe not. We'll see. It depends on whether or not you guys like the dark corners of Fur Affinity. Like many of you, I am also on Fur Affinity because even though it is a trash garbage website that is always on fire, it's the only place to really go to connect with other furries, unless you want to use E621 or Ink Money, or Weasel, or any of the other sites that are really available. And so, I like to have a little ritual that I perform at least once a day. One of the things you guys may have noticed, I notice it quite a lot as an artist, is that engagement with submissions is pretty rare. I mean, you'll get plenty of looks, maybe a couple favorites, but comments? Giving a comment, let alone one with constructive criticism? That's rarer than seeing Alkali without a drink of tequila in his hand. And so every morning, I like to go online and leave 5 constructive, encouraging comments with people, if I can and if I have the time, because, you know, it's just a comment, but it helps somebody feel a little bit better. Well, as many of you guys know, in order to see everything, you have to have your filters turned off. And one day, this little practice backfired on me in the worst way. Because it's 7 o'clock in the morning, I can't sleep, and I figure, well, before I go on my morning run, let's see what's on the website. Click, click, scroll, scroll, scroll. Oh my God, what is that? Suddenly, in my face, ass. Big, big ass. And what should be coming out of it? But poop. That's right, a big, long, brown, runny turd. This thing was the Olympic champion of poops, dropping into the toilet like the job prospects of a stupid furry who is stupid enough to major in history and minor in art. And I'm staring at this thing, and of course I'm horrified, but I'm a historian. I'm trained to ask questions. So I click on it, because I have to know. I have to know. There's a picture of poop coming out of the butt. It's been up for 15 minutes. How many people have seen the poop? Does the poop have favorites? How many favorites does it have? Is it just is there a gallery full of poop, or did somebody just get a wild hair up their ass and said, you know, I'm gonna post some shit for Fur Affinity? So I click on the image and I look at it, and of course there is an entire gallery full of this. And my hand to God, the image had been viewed 56 times in 15 minutes, and it had 6 favorites. And I start to have an existential crisis. Like, what fucking kind of person favorites a picture of a giant piece of shit? I start to have a little mini panic attack. I have an existential crisis, and I say, no, I've got to get the fuck out of here. And I get up, I put on my running shoes, and I run out of the house. I go on my morning run, and I try to forget about it. I try to put it out of my mind. But all day, all I can think about is, son of a bitch, that piece of shit got more views than I did. I sit here, I work my ass off to create beautiful works of art, and all the reference images and beautiful pinups and hot guys that I make can't hold a candle to that large piece of shit. You know, maybe I should just give up on this fandom. I mean, clearly I don't understand what's going on with it any more than the average user. No, God damn it, no! I just need to produce more. I need to give the people what they want. I need to give them anything and everything. I need to draw tits and dicks and big asses that may or may not have poop. If somebody wants to commission it, maybe I'll think about it. And that is how a giant piece of shit has inspired me to create almost 70 new pieces of artwork in a year. So just remember, guys, no matter how inadequate you feel, no matter how unself-confident you are, just remember, at least you're better than a literal shit person.
Okay, quick break for the people walking in. We're going to remind people of the rules real quick, and then we're going to do a public service announcement. Guys, if you're just walking in, if you want to participate, between rounds we have people raise hands, and the people on the panel up there will choose people. This is 18 plus. Just for citrine, we're trying to avoid the real shock humor. Other than that, have a ball. Now, for the people that you've seen and enjoyed so far, I'm going to do a public service announcement. Tomorrow night, we're taking it one step further. At 10:30 in Ballroom 2, for those of you who are about my age and can remember it, we're reviving a great old American TV tradition, The Gong Show. The way that will run, you will be given instructions on how to connect in with your phone. You can vote to give people more time. You can vote to give people less time, or you can vote to hit the gong and get them the hell off the island. And I will be emceeing that. I decided that the next step was necessary. Citrine has volunteered to be on the panel for that, and I'm going to see if I can even pull Alkali's Big Greasy Hide in here. So that would be Ballroom 2. Okay, guys, so are we ready to continue?
I saw you first, Jake.
Yes, Jake, yeah. Buddy, he's eating my spot to poker. Go.
Wait, what? Jake can't come up now. State Farm couldn't have a break.
Oh, man. So, for those of you who don't know me, I'm Poker Wolf, and, I really like, poems. Anyone else in here a fan of, like, Jack's Films by any chance? YouTube creator, Jack's Films? Alright, so I'm a really big fan of his style of haikus, and for those of you who don't really know me, I'm a real sensitive guy. Like, it may not be obvious at first, but you have to just really get in there, you just gotta really get all the way in there, maybe all the way to, just reach in real deep, just real deep! And maybe just grab something, you might put a little bit of sensitivity in me. Just a little bit. So I think I wrote some haikus. Okay, phone is not turning on.
That's a terrible haiku.
Why won't you turn on? You stupid piece of shit. I'll just go without.
Improv haiku.
Improv haiku, okay. Let's see here. Alkali bismuth. Water, torch, drink, glug, glug, glug. There goes his liver. Let's see here. Jake the fastest fun. Except when playing Mark.
You can't have water to alkaline, that's base.
I am bombing today. I just completely blanked on everything. I'm sorry, folks.
Keep it up.
Yeah.
Keep doing it. You can do it.
What does that even mean?
You better use it. We have better.
I'm sorry, I can't do this today. I'm sorry. I'm completely. crazy stuff. And one thing I love is kids. Kids are like so afraid when you're in uniform, but you can see everything they're thinking with their face. You get a whole conversation with their expressions. You'll, right? I had this kid blasting down the walkway. This kid is high on life. He is having fun, and he is like just moving, and he moves moving his legs. It's so weird, like a Hanna-Barbera cartoon. He only moves from the knees, right? Like, just only here. And he is just booking it toward me, right? His face is just like, yeah, I invented a new way of running. I got a new form of transportation. It's the future, Goose. And that's when you know. Brain goes, invented new run, timing, off. One point, there's no legs coming down. It is complete air. You get that look where he turns his head and it's like everything comes to fruition. Gravity exists. Ground is hard. I'm going to meet it pretty quickly. So then you get this expression of pure joy into horror in less than a second as he realizes that the whole sequence was not completely planned out because of the damn goose. Which we're at a zoo, and what's the one thing a 4-year-old sees? You can have exotic zebras from Africa, wildebeest, sea lions from the Great Pacific. No, fucking Canadian goose, which was from the millions of. Mom, look at the goose! Right? This kid sees his future eating shit coming so quickly, and sure enough, boom! Slide. Stop. Physics are a bitch. Right? Kid gets up. Now this whole time he's still not said a word. The goose thing was me. Because you can see it. You can read the face. You're like, splat! Right? This kid gets up. Not a single tear. There's a lot of blood, but not a single tear. And I love the fact that that facial expression of like, that went really wrong. Really fast. And I love it when you see that emotion of learning of like, I will never fucking do that again. Ever again. Erase error 404. It's a great thing. And it's one thing that's really great about that expression. I see some amazing stuff at this convention. And you guys are wonderful. And it's hard to come up here and tell little stories like that. And I want to thank every single person who's come up here so far and told an awesome story. It's not easy. And I also want to thank everybody for giving me the chance to do this. Even though securities aren't looking. Oh no, don't pay attention to me. No. I'm just going to sit up here and just look at you. We're all going to look at you. And just, just stare and stare. Yeah, kiss. Come on, guys. Kiss. Oh, yeah. Come on. Oh, Jesus, please no. Yeah, we're talking about you. Hi, can we come on, Ross? Hi. Oh, God. Thank you, guys. I really appreciate the time. Thank you very much. I can't thank you enough. Thanks, man.
Next time on The Real House Pets. And Citrine's going to make an announcement for us. We've been asked to plug something.
Just to specify that's not a normal day for me, but I'll take it.
What are we plugging?
A lot of things. So, for those of you who don't know, in the con book, there is a variety show this weekend. And I think that a lot of the people that have been up here tonight should definitely try out for that.
What's the try?
Guys, the variety show is always fun. They're always looking for acts. I don't like to go on stage alone and have people look at me. Give them something else to look at. So, that being said, we're going to have about probably one more, because Whose Line is coming up here shortly. So we're going to have one more, and then I will do a quick set, and we will have our friend here who started us off tonight end us off. So that being said, you want to help take the last person since you have the eyes?
I've got the eyes.
Yes. Yeah.
All right. Last up. Draconis, do you want to come up?
While he's coming up, let's give a quick round of applause to people who have come up, and let's raise the roof for maybe doing this for 2 hours next year.
Thanks for that introduction there. Like you were choking on it, don't give him a microphone. Hey, a lot of things bad happen in our lives, and something you should try to do if you survive something, at least for a great story later on. I've always tried to look at the silver lining of things, and that's why when bad things happen to me, I tend to shrug it off. And this is kind of like a story about something very bad that happened to me. Now, when conventions are happening, you as the attendee probably don't know all the trouble has to go into making that con happen. You have to pay for the hotel, you have to pay for transportation, you have to pay for food, whatever it is. And I work with FangCon, and we live quite a distance away from the con. We live in Memphis, and we're currently having it in Birmingham, Alabama. But for a time there, it was in Knoxville, Tennessee. And one of the biggest expenses we had was getting stuff to the con. And you're looking at about maybe $1,000 to get stuff to the con every year. This money just thrown away. So we decided it would be a great idea to buy a vehicle. And so we tried to buy a cargo van, and they were just too expensive. So we'll get a bus, a school bus. Now, couldn't find one, but here we go. What else can you get? What kind of big deal can you get to get stuff to the con? A motorhome. Get an old motorhome, and maybe empty it out or whatever, but it carries a lot of stuff. So we found a good price motorhome, and we loaded it up. We had it serviced, and we were taking it to the convention. Sounds like a great thing. And I had it out on the road early. The rest of the group was behind me. And the vehicle was running fine, running smooth, and I'm going down the road, and there's this big black smoke trail behind the RV. And like, oh gosh, I was blowing the engine or something like that, something unforeseen. So I get on the phone, I call Kiefer, I go, hey Kiefer, hey, you need to get a U-Haul or whatever, and meet me here. I'm going to pull off at one of the exits, and we're going to have to load it up and move on, and we'll drop the RV off somewhere and get it fixed. Well, that would have been great if that had actually happened. So I'm going down the road, and I just went past the exit, and so I'm waiting to get to the next exit so I can pull off. And the vehicle started to run a little bit worse. And it's like, okay, I just want to make it to the exit and, limp in. And eventually the vehicle died. And I'm pulling over to the side of the road and coming to the stop. And the second the vehicle stopped, it filled with black smoke. I mean, it was instantaneous of this vehicle filling with black smoke. And it's like, oh crap, gee whiz. So, when that black smoke is like, your thought is, oh my gosh, if I don't get out of this vehicle now, I'm going to die of smoke inhalation. So, quickly undid my safety belt, and I thumb open the door, and I got out, and I was like, oh, son of a bitch, what happened to this thing? And I tried to open up all the windows to get all the smoke out so that nothing gets smoke damage. And I go to the RV, and I go looking in the engine compartment to see what it is, and I see fire. It's like, oh, okay. It's a small flame. It's like, well, go ahead and close the windows. That way the fire can't get oxygen and grow. And I grabbed the fire extinguisher, and I thought to bring a fire extinguisher, and I started spraying it in there. And it would go out for a second, but it would come back on again, the fire. So eventually the fire extinguisher, well, if I don't finish in time, then there'll be a cliffhanger. But I lived. So anyway, I can't put the fire out. Fortunately, the road rovers came by. The dealer go up and down the highway and help people out. And he went through 2 fire extinguishers, and he couldn't put the fire out. And so it's about this time the fire is getting bigger. And we're on I-40, if you're familiar with the road. It's a straight road all the way from East Coast. It's well traveled. I got to back up traffic. I got to be the guy who backed up traffic. And, okay, it's on fire. There ain't nothing I can do about it. So it's like, oh crap. So I go into the RV, you know, hold my breath, grab my camera, grab a couple other small things. I had a cell phone in there, and it's like one more thing to grab. I had a 5-gallon thing of gasoline. Just in case, you know, you need to feed gas to the vehicle at some point or whatever. So I grabbed that too. So here's this burning vehicle, and me walking down the road with a 5-gallon gas can. That had to look good. So the vehicle's burning. This traffic has been stopped, so there's a big backup of traffic. And it's just, I got a camera. I'm going to take photos. You know. I mean, great first story. The con attendees are going to wonder what happened to the con. And so fire department shows up in record time. I was really impressed. And they're putting out the fire. And by this time, the fire had already reached where I was in the vehicle. It was actually burning its way back. And this was the first year FanCon was going to have stand-ups all around the con, photo stand-ups. They went first. They were cardboard. They burned up and all that. So they put the fire out, and you know, state trooper there. And he wants the question. He asked me the question. You know, hey, you know, driver's license. It's in my wallet in the RV. Okay. He moves on to the next question. Can I see your insurance? Yeah, you get the idea. But the whole thing happened is, you know, Key Emergency showed up, and you know, he had no idea there would have been a fire because I had made some phone calls and I told what was happening, but it was basically we're not being related to poor Kiefer. And we eventually got to the con, and everything smelled like smoke. So the hotel loved it. But you know, the attendees came forward. They had, by that time, they had heard what happened. They could definitely smell it. And we had the con anyway. And it was one of the really endearing moments when everyone came forward, all the attendees, and they made the con happen. So when you hear Ed Hyena tell his horror story about what happened in AnthrOhio, is that, well, did you have an RV fire before the con? Well, thank you guys very much. That's just a story. I got right to the good story.
So guys, to end us out tonight, Citrine's going to do a bit, and then as AnthrOhio gets set up, I'm going to hit you guys with a lightning round.
All right, so real quick, how many of you have seen me perform stand-up before? Okay, that's good, because hands raised wouldn't do crap. So, I feel like there's some people that haven't heard me perform before. That's okay, it's okay. So, for those of you who don't know, I'm mainly a musician, because that's what I'm actually halfway decent at. This is something that I do that my parents don't see because they don't know how to work a computer, so I'm okay with it. So, we'll go back to an old story, because there's some of you who haven't heard me before. So, this right here is my cane that I use because I'm blind. And it pretty much keeps me from doing what apparently every damn sighted person does that has an iPhone. They run into shit. So apparently it makes me more sighted than the sighted, so I like this thing. But at IFC, a few years back, I learned the real purpose of this little thing. See, the cane is called that not because of what it is, but because it's an acronym. The Cock and Nut Exterminator. So, what this thing did, after I had enough alcohol in me, I decided to go roaming the halls, because when you're blind, you can't see anyway, but when you can't remember your room number because you're drunk, it gets better. So, this sweet little thing decides that it's going to go banging down the hall, and I pretty much sound like I'm playing snare drum. I'm just banging the hell out of everything. Now, I want to describe for you, a wall makes a very distinct sound because it's hard. Don't think dirty stuff. But, okay. Wait, this is 18 plus, never mind. I already don't know what I'm doing up here. So, I hit something that is distinctly not wall. Now, I wouldn't have paid it any mind, and I would think, I would think that, well, maybe it's just somebody left something outside the room, whatever, I don't care. But there's a distinct point in time when you sober up, when, from what you perceive as the wall, starts curling up like a damn woolly worm around your cane and screeching. What I heard I'm pretty sure it was a guy. Not no more? So, he gets up, somehow miraculously, and runs into his room. I'm drunk, I don't know where my room is. So I decide, hell with it, I'm just going to lay down on the floor. The next morning, or what I perceived was the next morning, I wake up to the door opening, hearing, I am not going to pass him again! And the door slams shut. Guys, the main point to take away from this, am I really blind or am I a dick? The answer is both. Thank you so much, guys.
Okay, who wants to start the Kickstarter account to get him the t-shirt that says none shall pass? Okay, guys, we're a little later in the night. I don't feel bad about doing this now. Lightning round. All the good things that I did not do earlier because I didn't want to offend anybody. Now I just don't care. So, got one aimed at the otter here. The dragon made a comment earlier. See, I actually don't believe in otters. They're just foxes into water sports. Yes, we do. It's called E621. Okay, other thoughts for you. How many straight furs do we have in the room?
That exists?
Oh, yes, yes. Okay. To all the straight furries around here, I gotta give you a shout out. Guys, please, knock it off with the Axe body spray. The skunks are accusing you of cultural appropriation. That being said, I'm gonna end out the night. I got a little story for you guys. I have the odious joy of being a mod on 2 of the Tampa Bay Fur Chats. And for those of you who like me, like to occasionally kick the SJWs, watch them melt.
You mean explode?
No, they melt. Down, up. This is something that we had happen. This is something I had to deal with. And this is why it's comedy gold. I have a 2-screen setup in my computer room. I'm on one playing a timed 10-minute game with friends. The other one suddenly starts blowing up on the Telegram chat. So I reach my 10-minute limit, finish what I'm doing, I look over. I had an SJW attack. This young lady saw something that she didn't like in our Safe for Work. And she's telling me that there was an anti-Semitic sticker stuck up there, and I need to do something about it immediately. I mean, she did this like 20 lines deep in that 10 minutes that I was trying to do other things. So I go looking for it, and I have to be professional at this point. And I'm going, okay, I can't see anything like that. Could you please screen cap me what you're talking about? And this is the answer I got. Well, it wasn't actually the sticker they posted, it was other stickers in the pack. So that's rabbit hole level 1. We go rabbit hole level 2. As I'm trying to wrap my mind around this and stopping myself from doing head plus desk, she proceeds to post the 2 stickers that she found offensive in the pack to the main chat to back up her point. Now it's head pussy desk or banhammer, because this wonderful young lady, in trying to keep anybody from being offended, managed to offend the entire chat.
Wow.
This is my answer to thank you, please drive through. Okay guys, don't forget the variety show, and for those of you who stood up here and did a great job tonight, please come out for the Gong Show tomorrow. We'd love to see you again and take pot shots at you. Let's give it up for Dryback, our resident dragon, who set this up. Let's give it up for Citrine, who sat in and has offered graciously to help do that again tomorrow. I'm Killanon, I'm your bad Griffin, and I'm out.